everyone that you pass on campus has a different story from your own until you actually sit down and hear their side. Just wanted to really share Julieth's story. She was adopted at the age of 11 in Colombia and then made her way here to the States with her new adopted family.
It's actually one of the most difficult ages to really get adopted. So I was definitely blessed to be adopted at that age, because usually when you turn 10 years old, when you hit the double digits, the chances for a child to get adopted at that age is very difficult. I was abandoned by my mom when I was 8 months old, and I lived with an uncle and a grandmother and a cousin. I lived with them for 5 years in Ibagué, Colombia. And my uncle, when I was turned 4 or 5 years old, he went into the army. And prior to that, my godfather, he was an alcoholic, so it was hard for him. And for that year that I lived with her, it was very abusive. I've always been a really good student, from what I remember. But I do remember one situation I got in like a D or a C in one exam, and I came home and I knew I was going to get in trouble. I came home and I gave my paper to my aunt, and she pulled out a belt and hit me across the face. I don't know if you see them very much, but around my face there's like little scars.
I see some right here.
Yeah, like she hit me with the belt, and it hit me with the metal belt. One of the things I remember from that, because of course if you're abused,
it's traumatic.
Exactly, like it's traumatic. So that's one of the things I remember a lot. So another aunt of mine who lived in Bogota decided that it would be best for me to be in foster care. Thankfully, when the first day that they brought me there was a foster mom who had just given up another child for adoption, so she was open to take another one, and she took me right in that same day. Luckily, I was blessed when I first got there at 7 years old to be placed with a family right away. Out of all the kids, from what I remember, the cycle of when I was there, at least 10, 15 kids went through.
Wow.
But I was the longest. One of the reasons was because I was the eldest, and I helped a lot. My personality is, I love people. You know, I'm very open, and I trust someone until they show me no trust, you know? So for them to take me in and all that, and my past experiences, it was very easy to just let them into my life, kind of thing. I learned at a very young age, even before going into foster care, to be very independent. I'm sure there's thousands of people out there who've been through the same situation that I've been. Some people take it, like they deal with it in a good way, and then there's others that just break them down. I decided as a young age that I didn't want that to affect me in a negative way, because of course I've had tons of things happen to me, but I always treat people nicely. I think with all the trauma that happened in there, that I didn't have anywhere to really store any of my previous memories, because all I could remember was pain. And it's a little sad too, because I hear so many friends of mine who like have so many childhood memories, and I don't, and it makes it a little hard, you know. So
But you know what? That's what, living every day is about. You make memories, new memories, every day that you're alive. And I know right now you are so lucky, in the family that you have right now. I mean, you have a great boyfriend, your dad. Julieth's dad actually recently traveled to Colombia with her to meet her birth family. And this was also an interesting story, if you want to touch up on that.
We flew out right before spring break, my boyfriend and my dad, and we went to Ibagué, Colombia, and I met my uncle.
That's your birth town?
Yes. And I reunited with my uncle and my cousin and his wife. And it was really awesome. It was a really cool experience, and that night I met my dad and my biological brothers, and I wasn't expecting it. We weren't expecting anything that night. Like, that whole day was just rest, get used to the
time change?
Yes. And so I met with my dad, and it was a really cool experience, even though I had interesting, memories of him, because, like I said, he was an alcoholic. But it was cool because I got to meet my brothers. And the next day was planned to meet my mom and my sisters. And my aunt made lunch for all of us, and my arroz con pollo, which is my favorite dish. And we met my aunt and my mom and sisters and a few cousins and my grandmother came. So it was a lot more people than I was expecting. I was only expecting my mom and my sisters to come. But it happened, and the whole experience was awesome. It was a little hard to connect with my mom. You know, we hugged out and we cried, and it was so good, to finally reconnect with that piece.
Some individuals may feel like there's a missing piece to their puzzle. Julieth Link, senior at Lynn, has found hers. I'm Jordan Verdadeiro with iPulse News.